was ugly.
Perfect.
For hundreds and thousands of years, the question has been asked, what's the fastest kick in martial arts? And I know what you're thinking. No, you can't just immediately go, Sensei Seth, it's your kick. Your kick's the fastest. Yeah, obviously. But which of my kicks is the fastest kick in martial arts? Today what we're going to do is we're going to test what's the fastest martial art kick, both with the front leg and the back leg. We're going to be testing side roundhouse kick with this lead leg, bang, and then the front and roundhouse kick with the back leg. And we might even throw some spinning rear kicks in there too. Bang. And we're going to use a little something called Kick.Ai, this tiny little thing right here, to measure just how fast our reaction speed is, how fast we can react and hit something after getting a cue. That's kind of all there is to it. And then we're going to do some hot science Mark Rober style. We're pretty much the Mark Rober. I can't even say Mark Rober. How am I going to be Mark Rober if I can't say Mark Rober? We're going to pretty much be the Mark Rober of martial arts in this video. You excited? Same. Let's get this thing hooked up. All right, first things first, we're gonna go ahead and set these up to connect. We're gonna do speed test. Perfect, we're already good. We're connected, we're ready to go. So one of the things that I'm really excited to figure out is obviously the back leg is gonna be stronger than the front leg. Like that's not a question. But how much faster is the front leg than the back leg? Okay, so I've got everything set up. What we're gonna do for this first one, I'm gonna get back leg roundhouse kicks. I'm going to set up 10 kicks, the first 5 with the right, second 5 with the left, and then we'll see the average reaction time, and then we'll move on to the next one. All right, back leg roundhouse kick with the right leg. We're going to go body for all these. Ah, I wasn't talking, I was talking. All right, I think the fastest there was 690 something. $850. Oh no, it's not good. Last one, I think. All right, the fastest there was 695, and the average was like 890, which is not great, I don't think. That was from the time that I heard it to the second that it landed on the back. Okay, now we're gonna go front leg roundhouse kick, same thing. I might cheat a little bit and load this back leg, we'll see. Ah, a little pendulum step there, that sucks. That's 4, one more. All right, that's 5. Ah, it's getting ugly. Ah, 781. Oh wait, there's no. Whew. That was not great, I'm not gonna lie. I didn't love that. Fastest is 667. Actually, the average was faster. 815 average, 667. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this. And what we'll do with this information is we'll like break it down in the lab later, which is just my dining room. And I'll give you averages and reaction time. Might even compare it to some like cool animals' reaction times. Stick around, because like it's gonna be cool stuff. But next we're gonna do side kicks, and we're gonna do front kicks after that. Ah, that one was ugly. These are definitely slower and faster at the same time. I think that was 5. Ah! That was a slow one. 629 was the fastest kick, which was faster than the roundhouse kick. And then 917 was the average, which was slower on it. So far, side kicks are looking like I can pop them out there the fastest. They just don't get there consistently the fastest. Like a front kick, like a toe snap kick with the back leg. $9.29. Come on. Sometimes you just gotta shake it out. All right, left leg. Come on. So after like with it for a bit and getting a little frustrated with myself, I realized that this is not designed for front kicks. It is a sport-based like technology where it's designed to see what's fastest, and the easiest way to see what's fastest is like seeing what has an absolute stop. It's not designed for front kicks. From what I found hitting this, it accepts about 80% of the reads. So if you want to do it for front kicks, you can. You just have to understand that sometimes it might just not take the information. And I was really trying to force it. It doesn't have a front kick option on the site. I was trying to kind of make it a front kick option, but that's okay. We can move on. We have information for the side kick and the roundhouse kick, so now we're going to add the back kick and the spinning wheel kick to it to see what the fastest is. Reaction-wise, I can't imagine this is going to be perfect. All right, we'll go right leg, spinning rear kick first. I'm going to cheat off to the side a little bit. Three. Taking all of them so far. Fastest one so far right there. I took too long with that one. Okay, let's go. Other side, other side. Left leg. Ooh, that's faster. Goodness. Ooh, way faster. And last one. Whew! Much faster. That was much faster. 6:39 was the fastest. That's crazy. That's just as fast as the side kick one. 9:73 average. I think most of that comes from the left leg. I was watching it on the right leg. Was not pretty. All right, spinning wheel kick now. We're gonna start off with the right leg again. This one's gotta be slower, right? Oh, that was ugly. I was trying to make it fast. Gotta work on my right leg. There we go. Getting into it a little bit. But slower. 4. I think this is 4. Alright, let's go left leg. This should be better. Way faster. The fastest was 700, definitely left leg. Average was 1,023, makes sense. Whew. Okay, so what we did find out was we got the times for reaction speed for the side kick, the roundhouse kick of the front leg. This lead leg, pop. We got the reaction speed for the back leg roundhouse kick, both left and right for all these. We got the reaction speed for the spinning wheel kick and the back kick, which is like a spinning rear kick. Doesn't matter what you call it. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this into the lab. I'm gonna count up the numbers. I'm gonna give you some averages and see what our reaction speed's like. You know, maybe we're like a little, maybe we're a little snicky snake, you know what I mean? Maybe we have the reaction speed of like a cat, or maybe we have the reaction speed of like a dead cat. Who knows? We're not sure. But we're gonna count up these numbers. We're gonna get right back into it. We're gonna talk about why this is important for martial arts. Oh, hey, we're back on the floor. Kick.Ai, one of the things that I found was that I couldn't get the front kicks, which are like a big part of my game. And I think it's a good thing that we found this out, because if I'm gonna talk about this product, if you were to buy it and then get frustrated by it like this, like I would feel upset about that. So I want you to know that I tried front kick. It was not built for front kicks. It was built for roundhouse kicks, side kicks, a more sideways stance for sure. Very sport karate, very sport taekwondo, very speedy driven stuff, like things that you're designed to move fast. hit and pull back, right? And I'm sure they would prefer that too, that you guys would know that. So yeah, cool, keep that in mind. If you were looking for the Kick.Ai, keep in mind, front kicks are probably not the best option. They have about 5 or 6 kicks that you can follow when it comes to the speed time, reaction time, their survival test. They have a bunch of different game modes and stuff like that you can do. That it's not built for like Muay Thai guys who are going to do a lot of pushing action. It's built for people who are coming around the outside with these faster kicks. All right, back to the lab again, yo. Martial arts rover here. So first things first, let's talk about how these tests can help you. And I know you're probably thinking, okay, how is hearing something in a fight, like a bell, going to help me in a fight? Well, if you're a trained like cage fighter, something like sight is obviously important. Being able to see an opening and go bop, being able to see a strike coming and lean back, being able to see something and then counter and throw. Those are obviously very important things. Being able to see things in slow motion is huge, and science shows that the more you practice something, the more your brain can process it faster. One of the really cool things that I found is that when you're in a car crash or you're going through one of those traumatic moments, your brain kicks into overdrive, which is why everything seems like it's in slow motion. It's why people think their life is flashing in front of their eyes, because they have more time to process stuff because their brain's going super fast into like hyperdrive. It's like, while everything around you is the same speed. So what we can do is we can give ourselves more complexity and learn to kick our brain into overdrive, so when we hear or see things, that we can have that little bit of an advantage. Now, hearing things, you might think that like that's not super important unless someone has an audible cue. Right? That sound that comes out of the mouth, which helps, right? That's one thing. But then also if you have a coach that's in the stands and you can hear your coach and automatically respond and fire out. So if they go, oh, roundhouse, get the roundhouse, bang, you can throw that roundhouse kick. Or whatever it is that they're trying to tell you to do, being able to hear it and then throw it immediately is a huge advantage. So what you guys wanted to know was the average of each of these strikes, what I wanted to know. I don't know if you wanted to know this or not. This whole video could be pointless. Okay, so let's get down to the nitty gritty. Let's get down to these numbers. Okay, so we're gonna go based off of the average and then the fastest we got. For our front leg side kick, the average was 917 milliseconds, and the fastest was 629, which actually ends up being the fastest score we got, was that front leg side kick. Then we also have the roundhouse kick, which had an average of 83 milliseconds, with the fastest being 667. Now with our back leg roundhouse kick, we got 893 as the average, and 695 as the fastest. With the spinning rear kick, the spinning side kick, the back kick, whatever you want to call it, average of 973 milliseconds, with the fastest being 639, which is pretty darn fast. Faster than we got with the back leg roundhouse kick and the front leg roundhouse kick. Now that could come down to like anticipation or me understanding that I know when the thing's going to come, and if I can try and time it right, bang, I can sneak it out there. But anyway, and then with the wheel kick, the average we got was 1025 milliseconds, which makes sense because it takes longer to get there. This puts the average of all of our attacks at 762. That's not right. This puts the average reaction time of all of our kicks at about 928. Okay? So with the right leg, we had an average of 957, and then with the left leg, my dominant, 897, which goes to show like areas of improvement that I need to work on, especially that wheel kick. That was not good. So understanding the little cues and differences is something that you can practice to make sure that those legs match up together and you can get the same speed, or help you understand what part of your game is going to get you the fastest reaction. So if you're going against somebody that you really want to counter a lot, them coming in and being able to smack something out really quick, for me, my best option is probably my front leg side kick. That was the fastest on average that we got. No, that's not true. The front leg roundhouse kick was the fastest on average. The side kick was second. So you can start to understand by looking at these numbers what your best options are, and you can start to put that in your head beforehand, and guess what? Your reaction time gets better when you know what it is that you have to do. So if I know that if I'm going to be throwing a roundhouse kick because it's my fastest one, that as soon as he comes in, all I have to think about is that moment and seeing the opening and taking it. Okay, so now on to the cool part. What I thought was going to be the cool part. It's not. So I did some research, calculated some numbers, crunched some stuff, you know what I mean? Science things. And I essentially came to the conclusion that nobody measures the reaction time and kicking speed of any animal, ever. So I had to do it myself. And there's really only one animal that I can find that kicks. Oh, kangaroos, too. Wait, hold on. The answer was horses. Horses essentially kick at like 50 miles an hour, which breaks down to 73 feet per second. And I figured, okay, so it takes me about 5 for them to get that from point A to point B, foot to bag, right? About 5 feet. So what I decided was, okay, well, what's 73 feet per second divided by 5 feet? And then you take that 5 feet and you multiply by a second so you can get that number, which ends up being like 6 milliseconds. So 6 milliseconds it takes for that animal's foot to go from ground to the bag. So that didn't make me feel great right off the bat. Interesting fact about reaction time is essentially the bigger an animal gets, the slower its reaction time is. The fastest reaction time is like 8 milliseconds for an animal to find out something is food and then if it should attack it or like eat it. 8 milliseconds. But that's like a very small, it's called like a star-nosed mole if you want to look it up for whatever reason. And then I was like, okay, so obviously a horse can't be the only animal that kicks, right? And you saw it earlier, I had the epiphany. Okay, what about a kangaroo? Kangaroo kicks a little bit slower at 45 miles an hour, which goes to about 66 feet per second, which ends up being about 7.5 milliseconds. That's the time it takes for a kangaroo to kick the same distance that I kick. So the Kick.Ai is really cool for stuff like that. We talked about the other things that I think you could use it for. If you are someone who needs to work out to a set program, Kick.Ai is really cool for that. It's great for taekwondo people, really cool for karate people. Keep in mind that the pushing attacks are not what they're designed for, but they may be in the future. Now, this is not a sponsored video. Kick.Ai did not pay for this, but I will be completely transparent. If you use this code right here, you get a percentage off, and I get a percentage as well, and it goes towards making this channel better. Overall, I think Kick.Ai is run by really good people, and I think they are striving to make sure it's the best it can be. I think if you're using this app for what I explained, like what I think its best parts are, I think you will love it. The main reasons that I wanted to say what I said is because I don't want you to buy it thinking that it's something that it isn't. Anyway, hope you guys like this. Hope you had a little bit of fun with it. Yeah, like this. If you want to see more content, make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you comment for me. And you know the deal. If you don't subscribe, I'll kick you and you'll be fast too. Ready? You have to make a beep sound though, so I know when to kick. Go ahead. Beep! Bang!
Recently, Icy Mike and I had a talk about whether or not MMA was a style. And we essentially came to the conclusion that between his brain and mine, we have no idea. But in that